Hello, it's Michaela, and I finally finished going through all of the data from the MBTI survey I put out. Last video was about the study habits of each type. This time I'm going to focus on the learning style of each MBTI type. It's really just a continuation, so I guess you could call this a part 2 video, but all of the disclaimers are in my last video, so if you want to see those and hear me talk about how I'm not a professional at this, then go watch my last video, and also the link for that is in the caption below. Also below is a subscribe button, so if you want to watch more MBTI videos, don't forget to click that so you can see more. I'm quickly going to include the pie charts of all the summarizing data so that you can compare your MBTI type results to the general proportion of all 16 types who answered the survey, which there's about over 600 answers total between a Google form that I put out and also a SurveyMonkey combined. I do want to also briefly add that the conclusions I yielded from learning style were very similar to the study habits, which I'm very glad about. It worked. With all that being said, I guess I'll start.
ISFJs prefer to take bullet notes, and they learn best when watching presentations or videos. They overwhelmingly are better at understanding concrete information than anything abstract, possibly due to their introverted sensing, which prefers to absorb and reflect on things that the 5 senses can pick up. They also had no trend amongst the time of day that they learn best. ESFJs like to use visuals when they take notes, such as diagrams and charts. What I found most interesting is that they learned best with independent work, such as packets. This is the same result that I got in their study habits, when they lean towards silent study environments. Though they are people-oriented, it seems that ESFJs do prefer to work independently and quietly, because they are like a radio, picking up waves from other people, since their dominant function is extroverted feeling. Therefore, getting distracted very easily around others. While they had no preference between picking up concrete or theoretical information, they did indicate that they are most attentive in mornings and nights, but not any time in between. The ISFP prefers to use visuals to take notes, such as diagrams or charts, and this is perhaps due to their auxiliary extroverted sensing function, as the sensing functions tend to work better with material that they can look at or touch. They do best with independent studying, as their dominant function likes quieter environments, and they are tied between concrete and theoretical knowledge, so it really depends on the person. They're also most attentive in the afternoon. ESFPs lean towards collaborative work and bullet notes. Collaborating with others provides a bit more stimulating of an environment, so they can possibly learn better when they're having class discussions because it appeals to their dominant extroverted sensing. While they have no preference between concrete or theoretical material, they are most attentive in the morning, suggesting that they can learn most at that time of day. By far, ISTJs like to take notes in a bullet style, perhaps because it's the most concise and appeals to their organized personality. They also enjoy independent work the most. While this isn't surprising for an ISTJ, it does deviate from what I expected, since they have dominant introverted sensing. Because of this, I thought that they would learn best with visual aids, but it seems they prioritize their own independent organization. They also much prefer concrete material, and this time I'm certain that their introverted sensing is responsible for that. They are most attentive in the morning, and they say that their capacity to learn diminishes throughout the day. So if you're an ISTJ, procrastination probably doesn't sit well with you. ESTJs are notably concise people and don't waste time needlessly. Therefore, it makes sense that they unanimously supported bulleted lists for note-taking, especially when you consider that their dominant function is extroverted thinking. They also learn best by doing independent work, especially with material that is concrete. ESTJs say that they are most attentive in the mornings than any other time of day. Okay, I stupidly forgot to record for ISTP while I did the drawing, and I was not in the mood to redo it, so enjoy some doodling clips as I talk about ISTP. ISTPs learn best when taking notes in a bulleted list. They also most enjoy independent work, but they also expressed a preference for watching videos or presentations. This can likely be attributed to their auxiliary extroverted sensing, which takes well to visual learning. They had an inordinate amount of support for concrete material, and said that they learn best in the middle of the day. ESTPs were a bit of an anomaly. They like bulleted lists, which makes enough sense, but they prefer independent work. With their extroverted sensing, I would have expected that to be their least favorite way to learn, so this was interesting to see in the survey. They also showed a preference for learning theoretical material, which is more uncommon in the sensing types, who usually prefer concrete material. Also, they most enjoy mornings for learning. ENTJs have extroverted thinking as their dominant function, and thus they most enjoy note-taking in the bullet format, which is most concise and easiest for them to get their many thoughts across the page. They learn best when listening to lectures, and they most enjoy learning concrete material. Finally, they had no preference for a time of day to learn. The ENTP, whose extroverted intuition consequently keeps their mind constantly active and taking in information, does best with visual note-taking, such as a mind map, which might help to organize the vast amount of ideas bouncing in and out of them. They most enjoy collaboration. Their dominant function is stimulated by external sources, so class discussions will be much more beneficial for an ENTP than simply sitting down and reading a textbook. They vastly prefer theoretical material and work best in the mornings and the nights. ENFJs prefer to take bulleted notes, and they are also inclined to learn best when they are collaborating. Though their extroverted feeling might sometimes get distracted by these collaborations, if they've developed their auxiliary introverted intuition well, then collaborations will actually serve them even better, because they feed off of the energy of others as well as receive their inspiration from stimulation. They had only a slight preference in material that they learn, and that was theoretical information. Finally, they said that they are most attentive in the mornings. ENFPs enjoy taking notes with visual study tools, perhaps to allow their extroverted intuition a chance to visualize their thoughts rather than internalizing them into words. By far, they enjoy collaborating with others. Again, their dominant function is fueled by external stimulation that they can draw ideas from, so class discussions will be much more fascinating for the ENFP than an independent packet or reading. They enjoy theoretical material the most and are most attentive at night. The INTJ showed an inclination to learn best by taking notes that directly quote material. This might be attributed to the combination of their ability to recognize patterns from their dominant introverted intuition and their auxiliary extroverted thinking. It serves them well to take thorough notes that don't exclude any information that could potentially be important. The INTJ showed the most enthusiastic support for independent work of all the MBTI types. After all, they are very introverted people, so their learning style is catered to being alone in order to focus. They slightly preferred theoretical knowledge over concrete, and they are also most attentive at night. The INTP likes bulleted note-taking and prefers to do independent work, courtesy of their dominant introverted thinking, which is very self-reliant. They like theoretical knowledge most of all, probably because it appeals to their auxiliary extroverted intuition, and they also demonstrate a tendency to be most attentive at nighttime. INFJs learn best when taking bulleted notes, and they also enjoy independent work the most, possibly due to their introverted intuition. They reported that they predominantly learn better with theoretical material rather than concrete material. Again, their dominant intuition likes toying with ideas, rather than having a simple right and wrong answer. Finally, they are most attentive in the mornings. The INFP does best with bulleted notes and independent work, as their introverted feeling can learn best with quiet study, rather than listening to lectures or presentations. They much prefer learning subjective material that is abstract, and can be argued either way. The INFP probably thrives with this, since they are attuned to morals and ethics with their dominant function. Finally, they showed a tendency to be most attentive in the middle of the day.
So that concludes my study on the learning style of each MBTI type, and I am going to make more MBTI videos. I'm not really sure yet, but maybe like book recommendations or motivation for each type, procrastination. I'm not really sure yet, but it will be happening. So make sure that you subscribe if you want to watch more MBTI videos, or also just academic, productivity-related content, which is what I generally put out alongside MBTI. Thank you so much for stumbling across my little video, and I hope that you learned something from it. And if you did like the video, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.